Ladies and gentlemen, these are practical and measurable national losses. It is also important to note that the Smart Port note is not about adding pressure to traders. It is about improving how Ghana generates and manages real-time data so far as port operations are concerned, gentlemen. Implementing SPN is not optional. It is an investment in economic sovereignty, national security, and fundability for our shared growth. Countries that control their trade data unlock growth. Countries that do not remain reactive and underfunded. We are, by this press conference, calling on all stakeholders in the port ecosystems to support this innovative system to be rolled out by the Ghana Shippers Authority for inclusive economic growth.
And the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, has observed that insufficient attention has been given to artisanal skills training, as focus over the years has largely been placed on formal education. He noted that the Ministry of Youth Development has put in place several interventions to support young people who are interested in apprenticeship and skills training to secure their future.
Speaking at this year's Edukrom Odwira Festival, the
My name is Harriet Addy Bright.
Much for that update from across the country. Grateful, Harriet. So still live here on a Good Afternoon Ghana from us here at the Akuya Boy Studio at Reach number 10 Dr. Issa Street here at North Ridge in Accra. We are very live and active on DSTV channel 277, on Facebook, YouTube, Metro TV Ghana, on X, and also on Instagram at Metro TV GH. We'll go for a quick tour. We'll come back. Our conversations will begin. Stay with us here on the program. Don't go nowhere.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very viable printing company.
Print sculpt and experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwema besisia. Modbo odesh. Aji, I require some discomfort.
Sa GB ato a user ko pharmacy na shop biamu na mum say ye pharmacy supermarket ana shop ra na repedudu etu akoton a ono fra Royal Dutch ana Aerofield Trading efi spray wo dan wa.
In every school there is history, in every homecoming there is pride, but in 2020 with honor, from powerful reunions to legacy projects, which school truly owned the legacy in 2025 pride. This event is sponsored by Zoom Lion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
Chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Foreign Affairs, Alfred Oku Vanderpoy, has been speaking. Take a listen.
On issues or matters relative to the foreign affairs and the minister in specific. When I listened to the statement, there were two focus areas. The issue about US and 75 countries about immigrant visas processing, and the issue about oral, the alleged 21 billion that could be recovered through, the oral activities. Gentlemen of the press, when we think of the issue about the US immigrant visas. U.S. has made a decision that includes Ghana on immigrant visas. 75 countries. So why would my deputy ranking member conclude that Ghana is affected because of the activities of the Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Abrakwa? I mean, where is that coming from? This is a decision by the U.S., by the President of the United States. How do we hold our minister, Foreign Affairs Minister, responsible for that decision? This is a Foreign Affairs Minister who has been very active on the international front with our partners on issues about creating jobs, attracting investors to this country. Myself, I have joined him. We went to China, we went to other countries about attracting investors into this country. And it's bearing fruit. It's yielding results. And so if U.S. have made a decision on immigrant visa, we cannot hold our Foreign Affairs Minister responsible for that. Please. Where is the evidence that his attitude or his may have caused that? Please. And then the issue on ORA. That is a matter for the Attorney General to deal with. And Attorney General has come out. The process is ongoing. ORA activities for Honorable Abrakwa was before government, before NDC came to office. So all matters have been referred to the Attorney General. You know, so if Honorable Abrakwa says something with respect to 21 billion, I mean, it will see the light of day in the courts. So I don't think that is enough grounds to today call for his removal in affairs. Working very hard, working on visa waivers with our neighboring countries and other countries. A matter that will endure to the benefit of our citizens into traveling to other countries to enjoy these benefits. And Ghanaians are happy about it. He's worked on reducing passport charges. Ghanaians are happy about it. Passport processing. You know, today is the fastest. It's ongoing. And Ghanaians are benefiting out of it. Ghanaians are happy. You know, he has enhanced the passport processing. He's working with, collaborating with other ministries to ensure that Ghana, at the international level, I was with him in Angola with the Minister for Trade, moving and pushing for Ghana's investment opportunities outside. You know, so please, I don't think this is the time to call for the removal of the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Every Ghanaian I know have realized and have seen his hard work every day in this country, moving Ghana at the foreign front. You know, so this is not the time. We are also members of the Foreign Affairs Committee, the chair and the vice. We don't think anything that they have said about these two major items rise to the level of removal from office. No. If there are issues within our committee, yes, the committee will look at it. But it does not rise to the removal, call for the removal of the minister. No way. We haven't seen it. Nothing like that. You know. So we are here this morning to say that his statement is misguided to make those conclusions. We are here to say that we support the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Okudzeto Abrakwa, in his work. all Ghanaians have seen what he is doing about creating job opportunities for our youth in foreign circles, about visa issues in this country. He's concerned about the long queues that we see at our foreign embassies here in this country. And he talks about that. And then the processing of passports for Ghanaians. He has streamlined it, and Ghanaians are enjoying the acquisition of passports in this country. So there is a lot that is happening in the foreign affairs. Before we left Parliament this last time, we worked through the budget with the ministry. We also worked on waiver removal for Ghanaian working abroad in our embassies. And we passed those waivers, you know. So please, we are here to say that we do not think that any matters that they raise, especially those two matters about U.S. immigrant visas and oral activities, affect our Minister of Foreign Affairs to call for his removal. No. We dismiss that. And we think that we should work together. We should give him time to work. We should support him in all his endeavors in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I personally think he's doing a good job, and I will continue to support him. If we have to criticize him, yes, we will criticize constructively. But to call for his removal from office, I think is a disservice to our country, Ghana. We stand behind him. We will also add to my points.
Well, thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you so much for speaking to the media on this all-important matter. But all I want to say is that the Honorable Asafo Adjei has always chosen populism over facts. And for me, he's just him to take his time to learn and learn properly. There are best practices that he can learn from, so he should always gather his facts very well. Just like Chairman said, 75 countries where immigration visas were freezed by the United States of America since starting today, 21st. So, are you saying that all the 74 other countries, foreign affairs ministers should be dismissed by their respective presidents? Is that what Honorable Asafo Adjei is saying? Absolutely no. That cannot happen. So for me, let's work together. Even if you want to oppose as minority, mini minority or micro minority, you should always have facts at your fingertips. Don't come because you want to be heard, then you come and throw anything into the press. The Honorable Okudzoto Ablakwa has demonstrated capacity in his ministry. Look, under him, we saw passports acquisition is now so easy. Today, you can fill for a passport online. And within 2 weeks, a courier will deliver it to you in your house. That is his effort. Today, passport that was around 500 Ghana cedis plus today is around 350. He is working. He's walking the talk. So let's applaud him. He's a young man who is doing so well, who has taken his time to understudy the Ghana foreign policy very well. Let's support him. I heard him talk about the Israelis matter, the fact that he rebuttal, he used brute force to also, deport some Israelis. This is in the interest of Ghana. Ghanaians were mistreated, malhandled. So if they did that to Ghanaians, and he said that no, it's a no, you cannot touch any Ghanaian on such grounds. Then he said, well, if you did that to our own, we will rebuttal. And he did. And that ended the matter. So there's no day Israel will ever treat us or treat any Ghanaian badly. So this one, Osofo Asafo-Adjei, is saying that we should have kept quiet, we should have thrown our hands in despair so that the Ghanaian is treated anyhow in Israel. Absolutely no. So for me, it hasn't reached that. The Honorable Ablakwa can only be applauded, can only be praised for doing a yeoman job for this country. Under his watch as Foreign Affairs Minister, KPIs were developed for our diplomats, high commissioners, ambassadors, and consulates. KPIs, I attended, me and Chairman were in the training. He organized an orientation program for them. And under him, all the ambassadors, high commissioners, consulates that were appointed, none of them were rejected by any country. They did a very good background job on many of the people they appointed. And all of them went to their post within a record time. So this is how you work. So KPIs, it is not unlike those days where people think that ambassadorial job is for you to go and relax. No, he has given them, he has set what is the benchmarks for them, that you will be monitored. There is a system that will monitor ambassadors, high commissioners, consulars, and all of that. So this is the work that the young man is doing at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we cannot be calling for his removal at this time. Honorable Asafo-Adjei, you were not in the 8th Parliament. I was there. Your own party MPs, 92 of them, called for a removal of a minister, and that the president didn't listen. So it is not for you to come and tell President Mahama to remove his minister, a hard-working minister, not just any minister, a minister that understands his jobs, who knows his jobs, who understands his job. You cannot. So let me once again reiterate that Ghanaians and the entire world should treat the press statement by Honorable Asafo-Adjei and the
There you have it. Two members of the majority in Parliament, Honorable Alfred Okub-Vanderpoel, who is a member of Parliament for Ablekuma Masal constituency, and also Honorable Cletus Seidu Dapla, who is a member of Parliament for Jirapa constituency, all speaking there in favor of the Foreign Affairs Minister, Ablakwa. You know, I mean, following a press that was held by Honorable Asafo-Adjei, asking questions concerning immigrations and visa restrictions and all that. According to them, there are not enough substance in there for him to be sacked. But what exactly do you also make of this? Go onto our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever we are streaming, share your comment. Let's interact and have a good conversation and a good show here this afternoon. But I'm glad to be joined in studio by Akwesi Ewa Ababio, who is a former director of Diaspora Affairs for the MPP and also member of the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign team as the MPP goes into its flag bearership primaries come 31 January, a week from now. 10 days from now, exactly 10 days from now. Today is the 21st of January. So exactly 10 days from now, the party will be heading to the polls. And he is here with me in the studio. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. I'm grateful. Kindly turn on your mic. Let's have a conversation. Great. There we go.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
I mean, we were here when the bite was being played, and you just kept commenting. You know, that was behind the scenes. But yes, just so we get a better understanding of what you also make of it as a party member of the MPP, where do you stand on this?
I think it's interesting to hear these discussions and this opinion of the minority in Parliament, and of course the attempted explanation that the NDC are also, Okoboy and Cletus are also offering us.
You meant to say Okoboy?
Okub-Vanderpoel, sorry, right. Okub-Vanderpoel, you're right. I think what I picked from all that they said was especially with what Cletus said with populism over fact, which is something that was quite, known as an issue when they were in opposition, and Ablakwa was personally leading that sort of crusade. I think it got to the point where the country got to realize, as it has turned out in this term of governance, that propaganda can take you very far, but it will never get you there. So this is the situation in which they find themselves, that, you know, there are lots that they had done in respect of hyping in terms of trying to say things that were neither here nor there. It's beginning to look like, you know, has turned out around to haunt them. And this is why this long explanation is being required from, you know, the two gentlemen that appeared. Of course, the opposition is right in raising issues that they find rather very, you know, worrying, that as a Ghanaian, you can become a victim of any of these issues, trying to travel, trying to be anywhere, and that sort of thing. So, yes, it's very relevant that they talk about it.
My next question may come as far-fetched, but pardon me, I mean, you were a former director of diaspora affairs for the NPP. How would you rate Honorable Blakwa so far, heading the Office of the Foreign Affairs?
I think as Director Diaspora Affairs, Office of the President, you have a very good interaction with the Foreign Affairs.
Right.
So I was lucky to have had a lot of interaction. But meetings, met the then, you know, Minister for Foreign Affairs several times, the deputies, the directors. We worked hand in hand in most of the things that we do. So I'm a little bit conversant with the issues that, you know, pertain to you know, foreign affairs. And I cannot help but, you know, take note of the fact that passport processing has always been, you know, a thing that we can say we attended to, or the Foreign Affairs had worked on very long ago, to have eased that problem of, you know, that is being claimed to have been eased currently. So that is one. And I guess, yes, working in the interest of the staff at the Foreign Affairs is very critical, and I noticed that Ablakwa is taking that very seriously.
You acknowledge that?
Acknowledge that. I think that is a good thing. But it also has to be said that it was during Shirley Ayoko Botwe's time that she took all the interest of the workers, to the extent that she even was concerned that we would appoint deputy, you know, ambassadors from political fronts.
Deputy ambassadors?
Yes, into the Foreign Affairs, so that those who were working as career diplomats could get the opportunity to fully, you know, occupy those positions as a career development plan for them. And I noticed that that is, to some extent, being reversed in the current situation, where, you know, some people are getting all the opportunities to join the Foreign Affairs as deputy ministers when they are not career diplomats. So that, for me, is something that I've taken notice of, that perhaps, you know, needs to be looked at.
Aside the running of the human resources there at the ministry, anything else you're happy about? The chip-embedded passport, the decrease in the price of passports?
Coming along nicely with all the things that we were doing in power. You know, side by side with the Ghana card. Even the launching of the Ghana card in the diaspora was all done in our time.
Right.
When we made sure that that is basically what is required. Because when you have the Ghana card, which is a highly embedded, you know, software that basically holds the data so very much needed by almost every organization, you are there anyway. So.
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, this isn't part of our scheduled conversation, but forgive me, because this is a big story.
This should be a pub talk.
I think it qualifies for that anyways. Yeah. So let's now go into why we are here, why you chose to speak to us here this afternoon. The fact that the NPP, being the political party, Ghana's biggest opposition party, is heading to the polls come 31st of January 2026. I mean, to elect a new flag bearer, which it has been reiterated that the flag bearer is not a leader of the party.
Yes.
And so the flag bearer will be a flag bearer, will serve as a flag bearer and not as a leader of the party.
Yeah, I think in NPP we have always been clear on
yes.
that the flag bearer is not the leader of the party. I think all the contestants are aware of it. Let me take the opportunity for a start to say, wish them all well. Of course, they are all very astute people who are looking to become leaders of our party. And for that reason, their supporters should be controlled and organized to see how they can project their candidates forward. I am here specifically on behalf of but the Bawumia team, to see how best we can also, portray the candidate that we know very well, that is head and shoulders above all of them. I mean, not just for any simple reason that he has done it before, but in terms of track record, in terms of this, the personality, and in terms of everything that I personally know about him. And let me quickly chip in to say that I got to know Bawumia, as at that time we called him when he was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Right.
And at that time, I used to come into the country with some business, partners, and we would have meetings at the Bank of Ghana with, Aqua, and Aqua would let him deputize on one or two occasions. And I couldn't help but notice the fact that business partners were always observing the fact that this guy needed to be looked at. This guy is a clever guy. This guy understood the issues. This guy was quite clever with the financial terms sheet and everything that we were talking about. That was basically going to enable us to execute the project. So from that time, I decided to take notice of who this guy is. At that time, I must be honest, I didn't know him. And lo and behold, going forward, then Nana-Addo chose him as well, the vice presidential on the ticket. And that is when, the full support was thrown. And since then, the working relationship, the temperament that I've noted, everything about him, when you have discussions with him, how he is able to take note of and then give you feedback on what you are talking about and what you are proposing. It's remarkable, and it makes you know that this guy is seriously a team player. And he demonstrated that all throughout the time when he was assisting His Excellency Nana-Addo Dankwa to become the president. He worked very well as a team member. He assisted. He did very well to make sure that, eventually, and I said eventually, because it wasn't just one attempt. It even had all the issues that we had to be represented in the courts and how it called for that performance, steering performance, to be able to convince and to be able to argue the case to the country. And no wonder, subsequently, the country would then began to see why there was the need to, then elect Nana-Addo and as president. And whilst he was in opposition, the kind of pressure that he brought to bear on the government of Mahama at the time, exposing them in all the fronts at the issues that needed to be looked at. And the critical things that he said that are relevant, irrespective of wherever you find it. That is that if the fundamentals are wrong, you'll be exposed. It doesn't matter that it is your government. If the fundamentals go wrong, you are exposed. If somebody takes that note, somebody is able to make that note, and it applies irrespective, then I believe that person should be applauded as being observant and being clever to have taken note of that issue.
Let me kindly ask you this. Now, how difficult has it been selling the idea to your delegates? If I say your, I mean the MPP delegates, that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the right candidate for the job. I'm saying this because, I mean, we've been here in the country. We've witnessed a huge economic meltdown. Yeah. And on several occasions, anytime he's taken the podium, he has distanced himself from a lot of the issues. Just recently, a video that is trending from one of his campaigns that he said 3 days to elections, fuel prices were increased, which actually was one of the reasons why, results came in as they were. How has it been for you trying to convince your delegate that he still remains the right person? I mean, you speak of consistency. Why should he even be given a nod in the first place?
I think most of the delegates, as you can tell, made the right decision the first time in electing him as the leader. And of course, we were also living in a world that was going to witness what we did. That the whole world, almost every government in every country that subjected itself to re-election, basically had a tough time going through that, because COVID was real. The economic meltdown that followed was real. And we were equally affected. So basically, it was a tough one. But even with that difficulty, the delegates at that time were able to see how we needed him to be able to push us forward. Now we are at the point where we really need to be, not to panic, and to make sure that we carry forward. Because the history of the country tells us that every time the party has not panicked, that the party has stuck with what it presented the last time, as it was in the case of Tamils. as it was even in the case of Mahama, to be represented again. And then as it was in the case of our own party, when we consistently felt that there was the need to really have Nana Addo, we brought him forward and it worked. And here we are being tested again. And it is up to the country, the delegates for that matter, to be steadfast, to really stick to their guns and bring that presentation again for the Ghanaians to make that judgment. And I believe it will be in his favor. It is for no reason, it is for good reason that the NDC, in a panic situation, are even contemplating the issue of a third term for their current president. Just so that
that we can say that we've heard the president say that he's not going to contest for a third term.
No, whatever he has said is neither here nor there.
To say that it shouldn't be a conversation.
No. He doesn't want it to be a conversation. But within his own party, the fear is there. That is why
there's a fear.
Yeah, of course. That's why.
Which you know of that.
If there wasn't any fear, they wouldn't be, jumping around to say clearly what is not in the Constitution. So basically, that is basically a reaction to the fear that possibly, if we are bringing our Bawumia, they would be disadvantaged, and therefore they need to sort of see how they can wiggle themselves out of that. And for me, that is clearly an indication and the fact that reinforces the fact that yes, we need to be steadfast, we need to be consistent, we need to represent the person that we brought last time, who has been marketed overwhelmingly across the country. And it's no surprise that in this country right now, if you want to talk about politicians, you want to talk about Bawumia, you want to talk about Mahama, you want to talk about, Nana Addo, those are the people that are on the lips of everybody.
I mean,
it's a well-known fact.
You speak of consistency, but should that really be the case?
Because it has worked in the past.
Which the loss came down to 2024 elections was quite heartbreaking. I mean, there have been a number of some of your party members who said that even him accepting defeat was too early and affected a number of the MPs who actually lost their seats and all that. Why should the delegates still say that we are going with this choice of a person?
With hindsight, you can always pick on things the way it is being looked at. You can say, yes, why did he declare early? Look, the country,
but I don't think these are
country was at a point where we needed to calm down nerves and to make sure that the country takes. Very often, that we was sitting in the office, Jubilee House, of people have come, organized groups, they've all come as organized groups, and very often, the word that is on their mouth is Ghana first, Ghana first. That was a demonstration of Ghana first, if you ask me. That let us make sure that we can have that peace and go forward.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm still here with Akwesiewa Abibio, who is a former director for the Ashpra Affairs and for the MPP and also a member of the Bawumia campaign team. We're speaking everything 31 or January 31st, where the MPP goes to the polls. Delegates of the MPP goes to the polls to elect a new flag bearer. Now, one of the most interesting things that I've heard, probably from yesterday till today, has been Dr. Bawumia saying that he's heard or know that the last few days to the elections is going to be a lot of tantrums, a lot of shade, a lot of insult to provoke him to speak, but he wouldn't, and that his followers should not be swayed by all of these things. This comes from the back of what was stated by his opponent, the same party anyways, Kennedy Japan, who actually came calling him a liar for some statement he made concerning Charles Adubuahin and also Adukufo during their elections. What do you make of that? Do you also have the same understanding that, I mean, it's only just to let his followers get swayed by all this back and forth?
I think you have basically explained it quite clearly, even by your own.
I mean, that's the issue on the ground.
At this time, that bit of, anger, that bit of uncontrolled statement, which even though it's written and is well organized from a section, is being thrown out there in the public. It basically justifies what he said, that we should be careful. I think his remarks were more for the delegates and for his supporters to remain calm, to remain, organized, to not to be disturbed by these sort of things that will be thrown about there. And that is, again, a measure of the guy that some of us have decided to follow, that he can be controlled, that he would not react based on any false information. even if it's in public, picking up his phone when a report that is coming in, unsubstantiated, reacting to it publicly. He would never do anything of the sort. In fact, that is never going to happen. And that, for me, is the measure of the leadership that we are looking for.
Right.
So when you sit in that house, as President Clinton advised Obama some time back after Obama won, and that was beating Clinton's wife to that position. The advice he gave Obama was that you can be lonely in that office. And when you are lonely and you're under pressure and you have to make decisions, it takes the mantle of somebody who is controlled that can really do the job. So that, for me, is something that we all have to be mindful of. The country is at the point where we are looking for somebody who, when the difficulty when it gets tough, when the sea is dry, you'll be able to go by land.
Right.
Clear, steady mind of his own.
But I think one of the biggest questions on the lips of almost every single Ghanaian, whether they are delegates of the MPP or not, is it a good look for Dr. Bawumia to distance himself from a lot of the issues? Someone who was directly involved in the management of the economy. Is it a good look?
I think people are yet to understand, and of course it is coming gradually. People are basically understanding what it is. His concern for the economy has been the driving force behind his whole digitization program. Yeah? Way before we got into power. Incidentally, I am a computer, architect. And we know the significance of IT driving everything in this current dispensation that we find ourselves. So when you work for, say, the insurance industry and everywhere that you find yourself, banking, wherever, Greek, etc., there is now the realization that you need to get that sort of digitization in your programs, right, on which everything sits. So the economy, whatever you call it, the trade, to be able to clearly see the information. He's a man of data and science. If he wants to get that view of everything, it is that. The economy, especially if you come to it, is driven by data and science. You got to know what is happening. You got to know what is happening at your harbor, at your gates of entry into the country. You have to know the remittances that are coming in. You have to know what is, asking for those remittances to fluctuate or whatever. These are informations that you can only be able to make economic decisions if they are right, and if your system that is going to advise you is right. And that is where he's been coming from. And I'm glad in the long term, even look at what, the man is so full of ideas. This gold board, this gold idea of whatever we need to do to be able to, it didn't just drop from anywhere. Even though we've had Asopon Nkrumah explained so brilliantly on one of these programs, the idea that we have to use our own money to buy gold is a novelty. In the past, we were using our foreign exchange to buy gold for reserves. That was clearly a distinction that has been brought about by Mahmoud.
That I know that even some members of government now, like Senya Hosi, have acknowledged the fact that he has
exactly. And if you have a person like that,
should we as Ghanaians only judge Dr. Bawumia for his initiative and policies on digitalization and not the entire economy?
There are so many other things that he's yet to come forth with that we don't even know.
I asked the question on the back of the explanation you gave me.
Yeah. No. But that's additional to what he comes with. He's a team player. I've said that already. And for me, anybody that we are going to be putting at the position there needs to be able to work with people. Yeah?
Right.
We don't want a situation where people will be going to cabinet meetings with boxing gloves just to slug it out. Yeah? It needs to be disciplined, organized, and well, sort of behaved cabinet and people who would be in charge of the country. We need that.
Now, let's now speak of the other contenders. We can and look at what exactly their message has been. I mean, for Kennedy Agyapong, it has been jobs. His entire campaign has been the fact that there has to be jobs. when he speaks of Engineer Kwabena Ejejapon, he speaks of going back to the roots. Let's go back to what exactly MPP stands for. That's what he's been, the conversation he's been channeling. When you speak of Dr. Yawudichum, he says, listen, let's make Ghana's education a good one, a pillar that can actually start from the basics and run through the entire generation. You can also take a look at what Brian Chapo speaks of. I mean, giving back the power to the people.
Yeah.
What exactly is the message of Dr. Mombaumi, aside apologizing for what probably happened in the previous administration?
It is not just aside for apologizing. As I've clearly stated here, it is based on what he's capable of doing, and that is the programs that he is outlining. Remember, the track record, if there's anything at all, is that there is somebody who during his time, even in a position that is very difficult to execute, had a clear agenda for unemployment. Yeah? If it was that same idea, I can tell you, if Mahmoud Bawumia today is elected as the leader, he has a clear and a renewed opportunity to implement that, to make sure that there will be employment for the youth.
Right.
That is clear. Because it is no, surprise to anybody that it was his idea that was not fully implemented. That was jettisoned somewhere along the line. That was going to really, really deal with the issue as far as the youth were concerned. So that is something that we have to reckon with. We have to take into consideration when we are dealing with going forward in the future. That all the things that you said about the other candidates, I must admit that they are true. That is what they are talking about. Yeah? Talking about these things and doing it are not the same. You need to have somebody who has got the measure to be able to do it. I think I have a good relation with almost every one of them.
Almost all of them?
Those who are standing. Yeah, to the extent that I don't want to mention names. In one candidate, I even approached him some time back to tell him that, do you know that these people are fancying you sort of in a position of some sort? I've had that discussions with some of them before. And then some of them, we go way, way back in the university days, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, it's. I'm glad that the party has got that number of options to offer for us to be able to select from. And that I'm glad that among this nice parade of people that we have on offer, one is above everything, head and shoulders.
Just yesterday, Engineer Kwabena Ejejapon, had his.
My good friend.
He's a good friend of yours. Yes, had a presser where he outlined 6 pillars he believed will be good for the nation when it comes to recovering our economy and making sure we're on the right path as a nation. Let me quickly run it through it and let's see how feasible. In case Dr. Bawumia is elected as a flag bearer of the MPP, which of these things do you think he can actually tap in? Or even work with all of these other contenders and have it work for the good of the country, aside the NPP. Number 1, he says land reform, youth empowerment. Number 2 says urban regeneration, rural renewal. There's the third one that says fiscal discipline and value for money. The fourth one says meritocracy in public service. The fifth one says national trade license regime, and the sixth says creative arts and sports empowerment.
I think they are very good points, and I think there? I recognize these points because I worked with the manifesto team to some extent when we did present, and I can see them dropping from there. So these are all.
This is new to me. So what we're saying is that these points from Engineer Kwabena Ejejapon. Maybe from the campaign message of the former
Ejejapon was part of that team, and he was coming forth with ideas. And I remember some of these ones. So that's what I'm saying. Nothing strange, nothing. I wouldn't take it away from him that he's got this to present. But I'm saying that I've heard this before, and that these were not something that was not in our manifesto the last time.
And so it's just an old. Book that has been represented.
No. Listen, in consultancy, there's always a way of finding time an opportunity to put old wine in new bottles and sell them. So.
Okay, I think I'll leave you to conclude that statement.
Thank you.
Anyways, we can also speak of one of the big issues that I know that even not just the MPP delegates, but probably the entire country is asking is After all is said and done, after the 1st of January, when a flag bearer is announced or who won, what is the plan for reconciliation? Because a lot has happened. Yeah. When the announcement came on that there's going to be the election for flag bearership on January 31, I mean, there's been a lot from verbal, you know, what's the intention of the party to reconcile with all the camps?
I think let me say for a start that this party is very resilient, that we are capable of always regrouping. And it's not something that, I'm not saying with pride that in the past, when it was UNC and you know, it was even far more, perhaps, you know, devastating. And yet we were able to come together and, you know, move forward. Again, we are at that point in our history where this is also an issue. We've had, how many? Is it 10 candidates in the past? Everybody turning from all directions. But what is perhaps different this time around is the fact that the social media, the media is now there in your face and is making it obvious that this person said this and this person is here and doing this, etc., which is very difficult. I guess the same thing that is being used to tear us apart, I believe is a tool that we can also use to bring us together. So we will use the social media and everything to see how everyone, when it's all said and done, can work in their respective ways to bring it together. And so, that, for me, is where I have a big,
The MPP also initiated a peace pact to be signed by all 5 candidates. Is it the first time it's happening in a presidential election?
Well, tactically, I don't think it is the first time, you know, because, we basically are aware of the fact that when we go through these issues, we tend to have that. And then, of course, when people are on the benches and are looking to get in, they have all ideas. I always use that football and that music as an example of how you think like, a reserve player, so you get in and you begin to work together. You could be looking to see this guy come out. And as soon as they make the substitution, you go on the pitch. You have to work together to get the opponents, you know, beaten. And that is where we're going to find ourselves. We are going to work together. We have that capability. We are resilient enough to be able to organize. And I'm very pessimistic. I'm very optimistic about that happening, that we will be able to move forward and really make an impact for Ghanaians. Look, and when everything is said and done, I want to basically come to this point that oppositions don't win elections. Yeah? Incumbents lose the election. And given the mistakes that are already galore, you know, on the table for everybody to see, the promises that have been broken here and there and everywhere, the things that have been said that can never even be done, that can never be initiated, the 24-hour economy that cannot even be, that we are even under danger of being reduced. This current 24 hours is being reduced to 18 hours. Yeah? These things are going to enable us to come back. And we'll be coming back.
I was not going to ask you about the 24-hour economy, but since you mentioned
Of course, everybody knows.
You just opened a floodgate for me.
I have a business I'm running. I'm considering looking to see how I can even reduce it because the hours. Because it's not practical with trying to put people there and not getting the services and not getting the clients and not get. Look, businessmen, they are not stupid though. Their money has gone into it, and they know what decisions they have to make. If the clients are going to come and knock on their doors even whilst they are asleep, they will open their shops. The factory will be running even when, you know, the workers are begging to go home. So that is the fact of nature, life. And
but the 24-hour economy, I mean, they've been given a budget. They are now putting things together. They have an office.
They will give a budget because somebody needs to be able to sit somewhere and spend something. But the reality is going to be different. You ask yourself, if you're going to be seeing something, let's all be happy to say it. Yeah? Because I've got relatives, I've got family and friends, people in my village, people in the city, where I live, people knocking on my doors, that they want something to do. But I wish they could be getting, you know, something to do.
But a number of the offices have started running. I mean, not as many as we may expect. DVLA is running 24-hour economy. ADB Bank, when you go to the
Tell me which of the DVLA is working there. I will go there tomorrow because I need something done.
You are my DVLA officer, you are there and it's ready to about 5:30, everybody is shutting down, you are going home. And I don't know of any recruitment of the next batch of people who are coming to work. How do you do this? I mean, let's be real. That's what I'm telling you. Propaganda will get you this far. It will never get you to the end.
If I should give you if say you were the party chair of the NPP, and you are given the opportunity to say the chair of the NPP.
Chair.
I'm just saying. I mean, let me give you some big shoes.
I want something more realistic. That I would want to.
I mean, it's because of my next question.
Of course.
And say you have the opportunity to choose. Definitely, it will be a deliberation. But let's say you've been given an opportunity to choose a running mate for Dr. Bawumia among these five.
Choose the running mate.
I'm just saying you've been given an opportunity to do that. Just a scenario.
That hypothetical situation is never going to happen.
Okay.
The party chair is never going to get the opportunity to.
There's a deliberation.
Yes.
And then we've been asked to, let's say, all these people who are here contesting for the flag bearership race, and Dr. Bawumia wins, and we have to select from among these four other people as a running mates. Who are you going to go for? Who do you think is competent?
Now I see your point, and I'm very excited that you brought this about, because I am of the opinion, and I've always been of the opinion, that some contestants get into this race not to actually get the presidency, to represent the MPP but to be noticed, to be seen that they are capable of partnering or perhaps the future when it comes again. So it is always like that. So I'm not surprised that you list these names and you say, if you have to choose, if Bawumia, that scenario, are we going to consider? But again, it is not like that with our party. It's not like you contested as presidential candidate. Should we be looking at you? You could be contesting as presidential candidate. I can tell you, somebody is on the bench who is far better than that.
Right.
So when it comes to that consideration,
but
you are not locked up in that.
You still didn't give me a name. Who among these four you think could be a good running mate?
I think I'm telling you that these four could even be added to. That's my answer. That when it comes to that presidential position, you might even have to add to that four.
No, but you've been given this four, so choose from this four.
Why would you have to choose from this four?
I mean, we are speaking of these five contenders, and
no. That's
since we represent Dr. Bawumia.
No. That's it. Look.
And we have this four persons for you to choose
you
from.
Cross a bridge when we come to it. Now, even if you go and wake Bawumia up and tell him that this is the issue, he will tell you, my friend, are you crazy? This is no time to be thinking about this. Nobody wants to talk about this.
Right.
Yes.
I'm still here with Akwesi Ewua Ababio, former director of Diaspora Affairs and also member of the Bawumia campaign team. We are talking everything MPP election for a flag bearer. He is representing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and part of the campaign, a core member of the campaign team. And so, yeah, we're speaking everything around him. But we come back from the break. And if there's some time, you may just open the phone lines. You never know. Somebody may want to give you a comment. So stay with us, don't go nowhere. We're still here on Good Afternoon Ghana, on DSTV channel 277, on Facebook, YouTube, at Metro TV Ghana, on X, and on Instagram at Metro TV GH. Also, live on 94.1 FM. If you're stepping out, tune in and listen. We will be back.
Oh, Jose, and I made the Asamasio. Cannon Pano, Nasana, Michiana, what me. A drain I didn't quano. Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, more benefit him. Me benefit wine. Also, what told dear?
Abrewa, this mama, Abrente, Mishuve. One antique crown our bread. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules. Nanya, what ya bribia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules.
Asembia you
a devil when ama when I say send your na my wife complain one personal Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules enti say sia mpaso aye de
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules e mani tie ni asumdie be fi abrebia oba bia o de pua haw no edro ba ko pa wo hia ne Tremendous Capsules esiesie wo ma wo ye oba asima enro yi wo benya bi wo ba bia ye ton nro bia Kingdom Herbal no challenger.
In every school there is history. In every homecoming, there is pride. but in 2025, pride became competition. From convoys that shook the streets to colors worn with honor, from powerful reunions to legacy projects that will stand forever. Metro TV asked one bold question: which school truly owned the legacy in 2025? Welcome to School's Homecoming 2025. Who is who? Send your school name, convoy videos, speech and prize giving highlights, and your 2025 legacy projects to 0550 090 702. School's Homecoming, my school, my pride. This event is sponsored by Zoom Lion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
Welcome back. We're still here on Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. From our studios here at Regina Crown, the Queer Boy Ma studio. We are on DS3 channel 277, also on your Digibox, on your multi-choice Digibox. We are there as well. So wherever you are, you can catch us. If you are stepping out from your home, just log on to 94.1 FM, and you can also have a listen to what is happening here this afternoon. I'm here with Akwesi Ewa Abebio, former director of Diaspora Affairs for the NPP and a member of Team Dr. Bawumia going into January 31, 2026 for the NPP's flag bearership race. Now, we've promised viewers that we are going to open the phone lines, at least for some one or two, remarks. The number is on your screen right here, right here. So just dial those numbers and let's have a conversation. As you do that, let me ask you this question. How does it look on the ground? Are delegates buying into your ideas? Are they listening to you? Are they giving you the assurance that they are going to give you their votes? And how sure are you that you get the vote? They say fear delegates. I'm not scared.
You've got to fear the delegates. And especially when you are coming in first time and, they think you've got something to throw at them, they would kind of encourage you to go forward, and that's when they get the opportunity to take it.
Because they know what they want.
Because they know what they want. But these same delegates are not to be mistaken for being fools.
Right.
They know what they are looking for. They've made decisions in the past. They are capable of making the same decision going forward. And that is where you've got to be mindful of what, when you are coming in. From the feedback, talking to the campaign team that has gone around all over the place, it is quite clear that goodwill remains with Dr. Bawumia.
Right.
Because the people know, the delegates know where we are going and how best it is that we should be consistent and steadfast and present the same candidate that we did the last time, because they know the history of the country.
Forgive me. Let me break in rudely. Forgive me. But we have our first call on the line. Daniel, calling from Achimota, is joining us on the phone line. Daniel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Kindly give me your contribution to the program.
Yes, so I love the question you asked about what's the main, the premise of each candidate. And you spoke about how Brian Champon talked about relating to the people underground. Everyone has his own premise, but Dr. Bawumia's premise is not really clear. And when you asked him, he didn't really give a clear-cut premise of what Dr. Bawumia stands for, the main message of Dr. Bawumia's campaign. And I think that he needs to be clear, because once you are clear and cut, then you kind of give us, you kind of give us like the go ahead for us to vote for him. But if I'm voting for a candidate who doesn't have one thing that he's going forward, then it becomes questionable. So I think that he needs to revisit that question.
Thank you, Daniel. I mean, that's Daniel there. I mean, drawing our attention that you didn't really give us a clear understanding of what Dr. Bawumia's message really is. But before you answer that question, before I jumped in rudely, you were on the floor speaking about something else. So kindly finish that and let's answer.
What was I speaking about? When, you know?
I mean, we were talking about. Forgive me, excuse me.
Sorry.
But so let's attempt answering his question. We'll go back to that.
Yeah, she said what? That
there's no a clear message from Dr. Bawumia.
Bawumia is looking for.
Yes.
That the reason why they should vote for Bawumia. I think that is what I've been trying to explain all this time. That clearly he has been presented before, and that he knows what is needed for the country. He has tried. He has done things that we have the opportunity to point out to see what he would, given the opportunity, do again. Like, you know, the job opportunities that he basically was trying to create for the youth, that was, you know, kind of starved of the necessary funding, etc. This is the idea that obviously he would want to push forward to make sure that it is there. He's somebody who is looking to see how we can use our agriculture to basically get everybody working to see how best we can produce, to feed ourselves and do all the things that we have. On the diaspora front, for instance, and for those who are coming through the ports and, you know, harbors to bring in things, he's got that flat rate concept that he has pushed all these years. That it's, when it is in place, would simplify the way we organize business. These are the basic things that you can have that when it is in place would ease life for people to be able to, you know, do what they want to do.
Forgive me because of the call, and so I'm going to keep interjecting you because as we speak, Ibrahim from Nima is on the line to speak to us. Ibrahim, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
You have the floor. Kindly go on with your submission.
Yeah, I'm saying that they go for reserve. It's not Bawumia idea. It's they go for oil. That is Bawumia's idea. So MPP, we now the youth, what the politics MPP are doing, they are still doing the olden time. Their forefathers olden time politics, and now everybody is civilized about politics. So if they are doing, they should give credit where credit is due, and they should let us know that, oh, we are sorry, we did this, we did not did it well. Give us the opportunity to come back. But if you are still wanted to say what you did just 2-3 years ago, you are still right, and nobody will even listen to you because some people suffer, some people die. Even when Bawumia even came, he said, Akufo-Addo di me abase member share economy no because of and even mention their names. Say Softman for Professor what and all this thing, and this man collapsed our economy, and you are still trying to bring him back. No problem that you bring him. We are praying because we have a lot of things to say about him when they bring him back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think Ibrahim is speaking of an apology, the continuous apology. I mean, Doctor has been doing that, but he's requested for a continuous apology. Every single place he goes, apologize for things that were done by the MPP administration.
So if he's been doing that and he has not heard, then perhaps he needs to go and find the material to know that.
We can't fault him.
Yeah. Well, seriously, I think, look, even as we are here discussing this issue, we should be mindful of the feedback that we will get from those who are calling in. The feedback that is going to come from those who are NDC oriented. Even when we are talking about a situation that right now engages us to select a primary leader for our party. And that, let's not use that to confuse us. This gold ball issue and this gold for oil thing that is being put forward is neither here nor there.
All right. Let's go back on the phone line, please. I beg your pardon. When you call, make a submission short, or we may have to cut you or drop you and go to the next person. So thank you so much for making it short in advance. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. I beg your pardon. When you call, make a submission short.
Kindly mute your sound as well. If you don't, we may be forced to drop you as well, because there are a number of people who are actually waiting to get on the line. So speak. We are hearing you.
Yes, I said Bawumia was the vice president for 8 years. We all saw what happened. Yet he has no message. Yes, he has no message for us again. So now I'm not telling an NPP man, but I know Ken Ken have to come. They have to change it. The NPP have to change their face so that a businessman will lead the party. So a businessman, when he succeeds, fine, we will know what the country will go forward. So now, I
Thank you. I think his message is about changing the face.
I think that's something that I need to say about this idea of a businessman.
You've heard that too?
Yeah, I've heard that. But the definition of a businessman eludes me a bit. And, you know, we've had the opportunity of what? Atta Mills wasn't a businessman. He was certainly so whatever. He was certainly somebody who was working in the civil service or whatever before he came. Perhaps Mahama has always been with the civil service before, you know, he came here. And although you wouldn't say he was a civil service man before he came, he was a businessman in that respect. He brought Mobitel. He had his fine, you know, business that was training all the, all the lawyers in the country. He's got so many other businesses. We've tried business,
right,
in some respect, and so. And in the past, when the concept of businessmen being sold to us has been brought forward, the country has rejected them. Right. We had our Kwame Nyantes. We had this guy recently, what's his name, who was there to be president.
Okay, let's not keep our first female caller waiting on the line. Halima, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Talk to me.
I'm calling from Lima. I think we are all missing the point. The callers are saying that Bawumia was in charge of the economy. That is a misconception. Why are they not today saying that the vice president is in charge of the economy? The finance ministry and economic planning is under the finance minister. But Bawumia, through his ideas as a vice president, was able to bring the gold purchase program, which bettered the gold for oil and gold for reserves, which today has been sent to gold board and is serving the Ghana nation. Even after he has exited office, the gold for reserves is still serving Ghana. This is enough evidence that this man is very competent.
Right, Halima, thank you. I think your message is clear. It's clearly received. Thank you so much. I mean, Halima seems to be siding with you that you can't blame Dr. Bawumia for what actually happened to the economy.
I think that is, again, something that it takes people who have actually executed to know when you are in government what your capabilities are, what your limits are, and what the boundaries are between you and other government officials, and what you cannot do when somebody else is responsible for finance. And you know, so basically, let's be very honest.
Right.
You can't be on the patch of somebody's ground and be taking all the credit for it. Of course, you can always volunteer ideas. Look, personally, having worked at the Jubilee House, I'm privy to one or two things, not to be mentioned now, that Bawumia, for instance, had, in addition to all this digitization, for instance, which relates to government spending, which relates to the excesses of government, that has to be kept. That, I believe, if he has the opportunity, he's the one who can make sure that those ideas can come true.
Right. I go back on the phone line and Issa is on standby to speak to us. Issa is speaking to us from Mamobi. Issa, good afternoon to you.
Congratulations to Bahu speaking about the Bawumia assistant. The problem is that Ghana, we need somebody who get ideas to grow Ghana, not a businessman. If we are looking at a businessman, then we'll go to president in Braga. He should come and help Ghana. So Ghana is not deserving for the one who will be businessman. We are looking for somebody who get ideas to create to rule Ghana, not a businessman. A businessman cannot rule Ghana. And if we are looking at a businessman, then also go and break right now. He's the businessman in Ghana. Everybody knows. Right. So now Bawumia is going to win 65% on the 1st January, inshallah, by the grace of God. Thank you.
It's an Angodi, thank you. Isa says Bawumia is winning 65%. He's winning with 65% of the votes.
It would be nice to hear that on the day. That would be good news. But even though I say that would be good news, I will still be disappointed a little bit.
I want to come to you and ask you if there's a percentage you're expecting to get at the end of the elections.
I'm expecting a percentage that will be higher than what he did last time.
What figure are you looking at?
It will be higher than what we had last time.
99?
Well, why didn't you say 100? Because
there's always room for
you know, the other consensus, there's the possibility that they might not even vote for themselves. It's happened before.
Okay, hold on for me. I have another caller, Papa from Spintex. Papa, good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining us here this afternoon.
Yeah. You see, your guest is one person that I see is a hardliner in the MPP. He's part of those hardliners who made things so difficult for us in this very country. Your guest, Mr. Ababio. Because, for instance, when you talk about this man is a businessman can really say, no, don't talk about that. He's only focusing on Bawumia's win. And even made some extent to the say was saying that John Mama, the NDC people are fighting for him to come out for the third term because of Bawumia, that we fear Bawumia. Who told Mr. Ababio that we fear Bawumia? No, we don't fear any of their people. You should take note of that. Because you people failed Ghanaians for all. I lost my money with First Bank with C. Same as my daughter and the husband. Without your so-called financial whatever cleanup or so. So, please, stop your hard-line business, what do you call it, attitude. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you, please. And let's keep our comments, pure. I beg your pardon. Let's keep our comments pure. We are trying to make sense of what exactly is happening in the country. I mean, with respect to what is happening in the MPP and their flag worship race. So when you call, in as much as you may have your resentment or your own comment or your whatever it is, let's make it pure for TV. Thank you so much. Let's go all the way to Tamale. I have another call from Tamale. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Yes, please, the problem with the MPP is systemic. Bawumia is not their problem. Bawumia set in from the minority group. But all along, their primaries, their system of voting, of choosing leaders, chunk of the delegates come from the majority clan. So Bawumia being a minority, they have to fight it. If they don't fight, they will get Bawumia all right on the ticket. But the base of the party will not support. We were all in Ghana. From 2000, we have seen how MPP campaigned for Kufuor. We saw how MPP campaigned for Akufo-Addo in 2016. Even prior to from 2012 to 2016. The base always shakes when the person is from the south. So the MPP, I think they are now trying to wash themselves out of that. So for the MPP to know that they have to fight for the Ashanti side to raise up. If they are able to rise up, then now everybody will now see the MPP as a neutral party. Then they can wipe away NDC. If not, the way they are going, it has always been the southern majority.
Thank you.
So that.
Thank you so much. We keep it short, brief, and precise. So back to you. You want to respond to the two conversations? The first one says, you are part of the hardship that Ghanaians faced. You were a leading member of Ghana's hardship.
I was a member of the party, and I was a member of the government. So basically, I can't fault him for what he said. But that is his judgment. What you have to know is that we are all trying to play our roles, respective roles, in trying to make sure that it worked. I believe for the little job that I had, that brightened your own small corner,
right?
That year of return, that month, people coming into the country's, rejuvenation of the, the black resilience and whatever they came here to do, and how we were basically making room for them to align with us, and the investment that comes with it, the remittances, everything,
right,
was on the ascendancy, and it was proud to be part of that team that did that. So yes, we have all contributed in various ways. Somebody would also have a marking scheme that would also basically make them think that you didn't do as much as possible. But that, I leave that to posterity. What we can tell going forward is that there is somebody right now with lots of ideas that we need to help him to realize those ideas. Yeah, it's all about people coming to leadership with ideas that can be executed. And that is the aim going forward.
Right. Mark from Akoto Shia, I hope I had it correct. Number 2 is on the line for a conversation. Mark, thank you so much. I hope I mentioned the area correctly.
Yes, it's Akoto number 2.
Great. Speak to me. I'm listening.
Near media. Do you know something about the MPP?
Please talk to me. I'm listening.
It's so serious, but we take it like that. The problem of all the delegates, they are all good. But it means all of the people, they are supporting Bawumia because of their job. Because if Bawumia is not there now, all of them, the MPP will change. That's the problem. They are all forcing Bawumia to come. If Bawumia is not there today, all of them, their position is going to change. So that is their problem. They are all supporting Bawumia to win this election by force, but not about the NDC is afraid of them. No. They all know that if Bawumia lose today, all of them, their appointment will change. That's their problem.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's their problem.
I mean, he speaks of losing your jobs in your offices when
we don't have any jobs anymore.
Doesn't
time point, at this moment, who has got any job? I don't have a job. Yeah?
You are jobless?
I'm jobless. I'm trying to do my own business.
So how do you feed?
How do I feed? Look at my age. At my age, I should have been able to prepare for my pension.
Well,
and that's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Right. So you can also call us. Let's have a conversation. Let's go back on the line. Have our last caller speak to us. Nana, thank you so much for joining us. Luckily, you're our last caller. What do you have to tell us here today?
Yes, I want to comment on the program.
Go on. We are listening to you.
Yes, the issue on ground is that the MPP leaders know clearly that when they change Bawumia, they will be on opposition for a very long time. But they have decided to go in that way because everything shows clearly that when they bring Bawumia again, he will definitely lose 2028-2029 election completely. But I don't know why they are still insisting to bring him. But for us, we thank God for everything. Whoever they will bring, fine. But I prefer that for Ghana not to have a one-party state, they should build their party base correctly by changing the person that lose mercilessly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This question about, I'm not saying the last caller is more of the NDC. This is a question that has been. This is a question that has been is been asked a lot. Why do you think a number of the MPs who are with the majority in Parliament, or probably a number of the NDC persons, say that Bawumia isn't right for the MPP? Bawumia is not the right person going into the next elections.
They are what? They are members of Parliament for what?
I mean, the NDC. I mean, a number of people from the NDC say Bawumia isn't the right person.
Isn't it obvious?
Have you heard of such?
You want to go and play Barcelona with Messi in the team?
Well, I think that's
rather he's not there. Then you play.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the 5 persons, if you don't know them well, we have Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, former Assin Central MP, Dr. Brian Champon, former Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former Vice President, and Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, former Minister for Education, Engineer Kwabena Ejay Ejapon, former NPP General Secretary. These are the top 5 persons or personalities who are contesting to be the flag bearer of the MPP for the next election. I've been grateful and happy to have here with me Akwesi Ewua Abebio, who is a former director of the Diaspora Affairs and member of the Bawumia campaign team, for a good conversation, I must say.
Thank you.
I'm grateful you came. I hope you come back when we next.
Certainly. Giving me the opportunity, I'll be here, Right. It's been nice talking to you.
It's been nice having you here.
You are indeed right.
So thank you also for watching us and contributing by calling us and speaking to us here on the program. I am Bright. Then of course, see you. Have a good afternoon and bye.
In every school, there is history. In every homecoming, there is pride. But in 2025, pride became competition. From convoys that shook the streets to colors worn with honor, from powerful reunions to legacy projects that will stand forever. Metro TV asked one bold question: which school truly owned the legacy in 2025? Welcome to School's Homecoming 2025. Who is who? Send your school name, convoy videos, speech and prize giving highlights, and your 2025 legacy projects to 0550-090-702. School's Homecoming, my school, my pride. This event is sponsored by Zoom Lion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you are getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of the Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Thank you.
Be careful.
Jared, I got you. Take care, take care, take care.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. Gotcha. You okay? All right. Matron, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Don't worry.
Grateful.
Yeah, bless you too, man. No problem. God will take care of you, okay?
Okay.
Just be happy and be strong, okay? Okay.
All right.
I'll be leaving now.
No problem. Take care of yourself.
No, don't thank me. Whatever I did for God.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, baby.
Bye-bye.
Ready? Joy. Okay, Mary. Shall I take you up? Can I carry you?
Carry on, time.
Joy, get the door.